and welcome back to Pass and Move. And for today's episode, we are back with the lively Liverpool series, and we've got one hell of a game for you today. Actually, two games, one against Manchester United and the next one against Everton. So, two rivalries that could potentially decide our season. I'm sure you've noticed the table already. We are topping it based on goal difference. We are so far the only unbeaten team in the Premier League. And we face Manchester United, who are 3 points behind us, and Everton, who are in 15th place. So, obviously, a number of things have happened since the last episode, but as you can tell, it really is very tight at the top four teams here. Anyone, or even top five, anyone can really overtake my spot should I lose. And that's what makes the games even more important, the derbies even more crucial than they normally are, of course, given the circumstances. So, Chelsea level on points, just 5 goals the difference. They've conceded less, but we've scored more. Manchester City are just 1 point behind. Goal difference is quite a big difference, but yeah, I mean, you can see for yourselves the table here. Chelsea, City, Manchester United, Southampton, very much all in it, and we have to be very careful not to lose or drop any points. So, in terms of what happened since the last episode, which was the result against Galatasaray here, 1-1, we managed to beat Leicester in the Premier League 4-2, nice away win. Lacazette scoring twice, as well as Kent, who's gotten back into incredible form once more. I love playing him in my matches. Mahrez and Ndidi for Leicester also managed to score. Against Leeds, just squeezed past them with a 1-0 result, with Lacazette scoring right after the break. It was good enough to get us into the Carabao Cup quarter-final, which has been drawn against West Brom. Again, in the Premier League, Newcastle 2-1. We managed to go 2-up through Lacazette and Mane, and then Newcastle managed to score through Matt Ritchie in the 86th minute, just to make things very uncomfortable for us there towards the end, but we managed to hold on. Galatasaray was nothing like the result that we showed you in the last game. We managed to beat them 4-0. Kent scoring a brace, James Rodriguez getting amongst the goals, as well as Lacazette, and they couldn't reply. So it's good. Nice little run-in for us, winning run before we face Manchester United. But of course, our rivals will very much so be planning to try and give us our first loss of the season. Both of them, of course. First up, though, Manchester United away from home. If we get a draw, that's a respectable result. But based on the current league standings, we really can't afford anything less than 3 points at this point. And even against Everton, who are so far down the table compared to ourselves, we still need to ensure to get the 3 points to continuously try and open a gap between ourselves and the teams that are below us. But anyways, I'm sure you've noticed the homepage where you see Lacazette is the top goal scorer for our squad so far, as well as the highest average rating. That's good to see. We've got a bunch of assist makers as well. Henderson's got best pass completion rate, which is good to see. And those other stats don't really matter too much, do they? But yeah, I mean, in terms of the Champions League, we're also first with 2 games left. We do play Valencia and Porto still, so it hasn't been completely wrapped up. But I'm assuming the next result that we get will be the one that defines whether we end the group in qualifying for the next round, or whether and also can define whether we end in first or second spot. We want to try and top the table as much as possible, of course. The FA Cup hasn't really started yet, but like I mentioned, quarterfinal against West Brom, and Community Shield, you already watched that game. So I think we can go ahead and get into today's game. We have back-to-back matches. It's going to be an important one. And we're going to have to get straight into things right away here. No serious injuries other than Pablo Fornals, who's out for 6 weeks to 2 months. He's being taken care of by a specialist, so hopefully he'll come back sooner than expected. Mane just out for 6 days, so it's not a huge loss. This is the side that we'll be going with. Yeah, you can really pause the screen and have a look if you want in general, but the likes of Virgil van Dijk, Tierney and Lacazette all miss out, unfortunately, just due to their fitness, because based on current form, they've been in incredible form, but they are on the bench for us just in case anything happens. Divock Origi has a very important chance to prove his worth today, and I'm hoping he can do it, because really, if it wasn't for the run of games that we had, then Lacazette would be starting, as well as the other players we mentioned. But it's just games that were too important for ourselves. Like we showed you the games. We had to get into the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, so I had to play my players there. And then just a couple of days later, we faced Newcastle, which again we had to win to make sure we get into the continuously climb the table. It was that result that helped us top the table. Against Galatasaray, of course, we wanted to try and swing the group in our favour, which is it basically turned out that way. And so, you know, it's been very crucial results. I couldn't afford to rest any of my players, and unfortunately it means that maybe some of the B team players are going to have to play today, and they don't have a better opportunity than right now to prove their worth. So I'm just going to make a little tactical tweak. Whipping crosses in seems to work a bit better. We don't have necessarily players who are really good at jumping, reach or heading. I think Lacazette is normally in that case, not sure about Regi in truth. His heading and jumping reach seems to be fine, but I think considering how we've got pacey players here, it makes sense to take advantage of their pace rather than, for example, Chamberlain. His jumping reach and heading is really poor. You can say the same about Kent probably, yep, that's the case as well. And James Rodriguez, you can assume that too. So I think we can just go ahead and get in. There's a lot to be going on today. We need to try and get by it as quickly as possible. But we do face two very tough games. And the likes of that lineup is going to be it's even going to be more difficult than I assumed. You got Dybala there, Isco, Son, Orsolini, Pogba, Matic, Shaw, Bailly, Dyer, Lindelof and De Gea. Of course, they've got the likes of Rashford amongst their ranks, as well as Lukaku and Mata as well. So it's going to be quite a dangerous match. For ourselves, we do have James Rodriguez. Origi and Kent are normally backups as well as Chamberlain, but we do have our star players on the bench just in case. Keita and Henderson as well, and Keita of course such a huge play for us. He really does need to step up today. We've got Guilherme out on the left, Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right, and hopefully these two can get way up the pitch and really cause damage on the other end of the pitch. Gomez and Wallace in central defence has always worked for us before, so hopefully it can work once more. We've got Horn in goal because of course it's a Premier League fixture and he always starts ahead of our goalkeeper, our cup goalkeeper, Lafont. But as you can see, if you just give your backup goalkeeper a bunch of cup games, it still is very close to playing Timo Horn in goal in the Premier League. So 10 appearances here, 7 appearances here, and that should help Lafont also get better. Anyways, passionate team talk is definitely the way to go. I think we're favourites for today's game actually. But I'm still going to go with the we need revenge team talk because that's always what works best. Let's try and see whether Origi can put behind himself a not so convincing run, and at the same time he's been completely let out of the side just because of how incredibly well Lacazette has done. So plenty to prove today on both teams. Manchester United will want to make just like us, they're going to want to prove their title worth. Anyways, win the ball back well, and Chamberlain can safely pass it back to our defence. That's the end of that highlight. And it's going to be a very crucial match. We're playing a slightly more defensive formation than Manchester United. They're playing 4-2-3-1. We're playing an asymmetric one, which gives us a defensive midfielder. But maybe they'll take advantage of that by playing well in the central midfield. You know, Keita is facing up against two players, but at the same time, it does mean that our defenders have better protection. Having said that, Dybala's trying to get his team on the way, and that's exactly the kind of protection we were talking about. Henderson cutting inside to deal with the threat well, and Horn can try and get us going once more. Lumps the ball forward, but no one really there to receive it. Lindelof's going to let it bounce. It's through to Origi. Can he finish? And that's the type of chance. Well, it's the first clear-cut chance of the game, but that is the type of chance that Lacazette possibly would have finished. We can never, 100% say, but you'd assume Lacazette would finish that on. Origi has already made me regret him starting him ahead of Lacazette. Anyways, Orsolini does well there to keep the ball, but he puts in a poor pass, and Trent Alexander-Arnold can find Chamberlain quite easily. Keita gets us on our way. James Rodriguez dropping a bit too deep for my liking, and he's given a weird ball to Keita, who can't control it for some reason. It wasn't, blasted into him or anything, but thankfully Manchester United go all the way back. But Lindelof is only taking his time to move the ball forward again, so we'll have to still be alive to things. Matic, who's further ahead of the pitch than Pogba, and Dybala's through here. And that's gone just wide of the post, but that is some dangerous play. My players need to be alive to things a little bit more than they were there, because that was some not so good defending at all. 3 shots for either side and neither on target, though you'd argue Origi's shot that hit the post was on target. Does that not count? I thought shots that hit the post or the crossbar count as on target. Anyway, set piece for Manchester United. Son was the target, but it's Trent Alexander-Arnold who picks up the pieces. He's just going to run down the length of the pitch incredibly. But eventually a retreating Son is done really well to man mark our fullback. I think he's doing it again, so maybe we should possibly tell our inside forwards to man mark their fullbacks, even though they don't really get forward. Origi, back safely to Naby. Don't lose the ball, good, he plays it safely to Henderson. James Rodriguez is the one who loses the ball though, and Manchester United try and hit us on the counter, but Gomez, well, almost found Kent. Manchester United on the counter again. Dyer just lobs it forward, playing as a central defender. Dybala, such a danger man in the game, and he's going to find his players, of course. That type of byline crossing is always such a danger in the game, and Matic has been completely left free. Where's he even? Matic is... that's him here, isn't it? Yeah. So he's making that run on the counter. He stops temporarily. It is supposed to be Naby in truth. You should be keeping an eye on him. More so Henderson, actually. But Henderson's preoccupied trying to cover for his man. And Naby is doing some weird stuff here. Guilherme is keeping an eye on his man. So everyone's doing their job, but it is Wallace who misses, you know, the cross. Henderson eventually ends up not even man marking anyone, and Alexander's too busy keeping an eye on Son. Poor defending all round though, and we will have to do better if you want to try and win this game. I think both sides have looked relatively dangerous, but you have to wonder what would have happened had Origi finished his chance earlier in the game. But anyways, plenty of time to make amends. Isco and a couple of Manchester United players are tired, yet they still started and have performed well, so that's kind of a, I don't know, a sign to me that I maybe should have started my own players. Either way, if we had finished that chance with Origi, you'd be saying, yeah, it's a good thing that we rested Lacazette for the next match. But yeah, maybe we can take advantage of their fitness issues later on in the match. And Henderson finds Trent well, who delivers the ball into the box. A deep cross. And who is it here that took out Pogba? James Rodriguez. And apparently that wasn't even a foul, so it's a good thing for us. But not so much in the sense that Manchester United are trying to counter. Thankfully, they're having to go backwards to go forwards, so to speak. But we're just being really ridiculous with our passing at the moment, just lobbing it forward in the hopes of something. I'm not happy about that. Dybala, once more. Plenty of Manchester United players forward. Isco to Orsolini. We've just let them walk through our side quite easily. It's almost like our players that are man-marking aren't doing a good job. And just letting Manchester United players get behind us quite easily. But either way, set piece continues. Isco to Dybala, long range shot. And Lindelof can try and collect things for Manchester United, who are slowly dominating this game in a way that I am not enjoying. Origi's rating is horrible, as well as Kent and James Rodriguez. This isn't the time to be performing poorly. And considering that Pogba is the more defensive pair out of him and Matic, it's a bit of a worry what Pogba would be doing to us if he was further forward. But anyways, ends half time with a clear-cut chance and a half chance each, but it is Manchester United who go 1-0 up, and the only thing I can tell my players is to tell them off. Origi, Kent and Rodriguez all begging to be substituted off. At the earliest opportunity I will take it, but they're going to have to go into the second half and try and change or turn their game around. Henderson safely back to Wallace, who finds Naby quite easily, and this time he does find his partner, and it's Chamberlain on the ball now. Naby once more, the roaming playmaker, such a key part of our side, but he's going to have to do better than that there, because every time he loses the ball, or James Rodriguez, we've lost the ball quite frequently in truth. We're always getting them away. I think the way Manchester United are pressing us because we keep losing the ball, it might be better for me to just tell my players to pass the ball into space. As much as we already lob the ball forward, I feel like just encouraging my players to do that would mean less of... oh, great. Oh wow, Horn actually saved that. That's a really good save. But my players, again, we're playing the offside trap, yet they're still getting behind us. And I'm not really sure what to do about how easily they're getting behind us. But either way, Son beats his man easily, and it's a long range shot, and thankfully that's a goal kick to us. So let's see if pass into space helps us. I'd rather make my players pass better to each other, but the way they are right now, just losing the ball stupidly, so it doesn't make any sense. I feel like maybe telling my players to go onto fluid so that we can help each other a little bit better than we are currently. Hamas does find Kent up to Origi. What's he going to do here? Doesn't lose it. Plays it safely back to Henderson, which is a smart thing. But James Rodriguez is the one to lose it once more. Picks up the pieces though. And plays it to Orsolini. What a mess. Dybala. Absolutely allowed to run through all our players. I'm going to go into fluid here and see if that helps. But okay, there's a highlight right after I did that. So let's see if that's in Manchester United's favour or ours. Lindelof goes back to De Gea, who finds Orsolini really well. That's not really a goalkeeper's pass, that's a midfielder's pass. But yeah, we press Manchester United well enough back to their own goalkeeper, but they're keeping the ball well, showing us how to use it compared to, well actually just showing us how to use it because they're doing a much better job than ourselves. Dybala keeps dropping, and that's one hell of a tackle from Trent. Almost got himself sent off by the looks of how tough that we just keep giving Manchester United the ball. It's ridiculous. I'm not even sure what to tell my players. Maybe pass into space wasn't the way to go, but we're already playing shorter passes. I mean, do I tell them to retain possession as well? Oh, what? Oh my god. I was going to say what a tackle by Kent, but alright, let's get rid of pass into space. I feel like work ball into box is probably the one to go, because I'm not a fan of retain possession, especially because we're already playing shorter passing. So let's try that, and then let's try making some substitutions as well. So Lacazette is definitely the one to come onto the pitch. James Rodriguez. Let's move Naby away from the danger, make him an attacking midfielder. Jorginho. Kent's the last one we need to take off, but I'm going to save that for later. We'll move Chamberlain for Kent and then bring on Salah. Some very, very disappointing performances though. That is not nice. Our shots and shots on target hasn't increased at all since half time. Manchester United just have this way about them of knowing exactly how to strangle everything out of our game. It's incredible. I'm going to go for a look for overlap and maybe retain possession instead. I have a feeling I should tell my players to dribble less the way we keep losing the ball. But dribbling's part of our game, so I don't want that to happen. Alright, so we'll do what we said earlier, move Chamberlain to the left, bring on Salah for Kent. And this was not the day for my players to underperform. Alright, look for overlaps seemed to help us. But still, nothing significant. It feels more like we neutralised Manchester United rather than improved our own performance. And let's see what to do. Let's retain. I think, yeah, get rid of retain because we need to try being a bit more attacking, but look for overlap as part of our, maybe dribble less. I really don't know what to do at this point. Let's exploit the flanks too. Alright boys, let's give it 5 more minutes. No, nothing's working at this point. Let's just go into overload and let Manchester United score a second on the counter. That's exactly what I'm looking forward to. Alright, take more risks, overload, throwing everything we've got at them at this point. The way the game is gone, it's not going to be enough. Great, Manchester United of all teams are going to be the ones, yeah, definitely going to be the ones to give us our first defeat of the season in the league. Not a pleasing result at all. Like I mentioned earlier, I would have accepted a draw given that we're playing away from home, but the circumstances called for all 3 points, and yet we've fallen short of it, and instead we've given all 3 points to Manchester United instead, and performed incredibly poorly. our front four have let us down very badly, and Manchester United and Jose Mourinho continue to be our Achilles heel. Well, hopefully the game against Everton will be better. Told my players off at half time, so there's no need to tell them off again. And there's going to be a bit of an international break, so I don't think I'm going to sim through the game with you guys. Instead, it makes more sense for me to sim and just return when the Everton game comes around. So let's have a look how that leaves us. Would technically still first, but let's hope everyone else loses somehow. But yeah, our position is under threat now. Well, anyways, give me a few moments to be back and we'll play the Everton game and hope for a better result. 14 days away. And we're back. Okay, so unfortunately there's a couple of issues ahead of the Everton game. We're playing on a Friday after an international break, which is as stupid as ever. I mean, I'm not really sure who's made the decision, but as you can tell, tried to rest some players. Unfortunately, some of them haven't been able to recover in time. We've got Kieran Tierney here. We're going to have to take off again for Guilherme because he's tired. Naby, one of our key players as well, having to go off because he's tired. Lacazette, he's supposed to start today after the reduced nightmare in the last game, but he's tired as well. And so unfortunately, this is a lineup we'll be going with. So we don't want to waste too much time. Just get into the game right away and see whether we can pick up some points ahead, from our own rivals and make up for the last loss. So after the one against Manchester United, this is how the table looks like. It looks like it's really everyone losing to everyone, and that's why the table's so open up. I mean, if we win tomorrow and everyone else, today rather, and everyone else loses tomorrow, suddenly we're top of the table against us. It's quite messy, and I quite like that in truth, but I'd rather us be 20 points ahead of everyone else kind of thing. But that's football. So let's see how it goes today. Everton at home, and if this doesn't go in our favour, I'm not really sure what will, but let's hope that's not commentator's curse. So we're definitely favourites for today's match, but I feel like we need to inspire everyone rather than demand after the last match, after the last loss. So I've gone for that. Let's see whether that's enough to get the players going. The group is tangible, better than them being upset, I suppose. So we're going to skip that little nice intro and get right into the game, where Everton boast the likes of former Manchester United players Darmian, Lingard and Schneiderlin there as well. Got Moussa Dembele, I think Aston Villa's Masuko, or is that West Ham's? I forgot how to say his name. Coleman's playing in right wing, which is an interesting decision. They've got Talisca up front as well. From the bench, doesn't seem to be too much trouble other than Klaassen, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. Jorginho losing the ball poorly, and Everton are going to try and cause some damage here. Lingard, who'll definitely be fired up for today's game, but he does drop it back to Ghana, and Talisca somehow won that ahead of that incredibly stupid defender. And Everton are having dominating the early exchanges here. And this is starting very similarly to how the Manchester United game started. The only difference is we're dominating possession, but that is not pleasing. My players are reeling from the last loss. Alright boys, you're going to have to step up if you want improvement. Everton starting with some tired players too, so maybe this time we can actually take advantage of some exhausted players. Kent's taken out, but apparently that's not a foul, but Wallace is there to win it. Henderson chests it down, finds Salah really well. If he just finds his fullback, come on, play it. What's taking you so long? Trent with the delivery. Hammers is under it. Kent's there. And it's 1-0, but was that offside? The referee points to the halfway spot or line, whatever you want to call it. I forgot what they're called. How can I forget? The centre circle. There you go, that's the word. I know English. Henderson does well to find Salah there, who draws the players in, which is a good thing, but then he takes too long to release the ball. Eventually does find Alexander, who does whip the ball in. Hammers wins the header, and Kent is there to make sure he delivers the goal. But having started so poorly, it's good to see us get the first goal, but Everton are definitely going to be fired up after this. We have to stay alive to things. And of our players, it's only Guilherme who looks nervous, which isn't good. He's making his debut in the derby, so I suppose that makes sense. But He's going to have to show a bit more nerve than that. Jorginho, going to lose the ball probably. Nope, plays it safely to Henderson. Holds on to it, which is decent. No one's really closing him down, so why not? Salah finds Trent, and again the cross is whipped. Origi. I think again the Belgians begging to be subbed off. He's had a quiet game, not a poor one, not as bad against Arsenal, but it's a quiet one, still not as good. Managed to end the half with as many shots as Everton, so that's a good thing compared, bearing in mind how we started. But I need a bit more from my players, and I think that's exactly what I'm going to ask from them. I'm not going to be assertive, but I will still ask. Or actually, I can be assertive and just go with that. I'm happy with your performance so far. Come on, boys. Step it up a gear, please. I think another tiny tactical tweak I'm going to make, I'm going to try and see if it'll work, is switch from being a structured team to a fluid team. I feel like that'll help us a bit more creative freedom and whatnot. Not too much of a fan of the structure. I like how it keeps the team in shape, but given how we still look poor... Oh, that's one hell of a header from Gomez. That's incredible. I thought I was going out, but he just placed it so well. The goalkeeper stood no chance since we're 2 up, so I can't ask for more. But I will, and I hope we need a third to completely kill the game off. What delivery by James Rodriguez. Gomez is free despite him being surrounded by Everton players, if that even makes any sense. Just let him get in there. But yeah, since we're conceding silly goals like against Manchester United, we're letting them get in behind us anyways, we might as well embrace it and just go into fluid and completely take advantage of our attacking threat so far this season, where I think we've outscored everyone in the league. So might as well play to our strengths and see if that works. But we're not going to do it this game. No point changing something when it seems to be working. Then again, you could argue that about the tactic as overall, but it's still under consideration. I won't make the change just yet. Anyways, knocking the ball well, and James Rodriguez finds a free fullback in the form of Guilherme, who tries to cross from deep, which is a bit weird because he's supposed to be a byline crossing player. He gets to the byline this time, whips it into Origi, and this time he does score. And it's kind of annoying that he has, as weird as it is to say that, because Lacazette is the one who deserves to be starting ahead of him. But if he scores it today, then it's likely he'll be continuing until he drops out of form again. But either way, 3-0 up, and this game has gone miles better than the one against Manchester United. We're really flexing our muscles now. Alright. It's good to see that despite Everton playing a relatively defensive formation, we're still taking, putting a sword to them. I just want this game to go by without any injuries really at this point. So let's try and make some substitution. Henderson's a little bit tired. Bring on Chan. Mo Salah as well. And Mane is actually a left winger, but we'll just bring him on anyways. Mane is one of those players, I mean, he is right-footed, so you don't want him as your inside forward on the right, because, that they're supposed to use their left foot. But at the same time, Mane's got a player trait which says that he cuts inside from either wing, either way, so it kind of just, he should be able to do a job from there anyways. At the same time, you do have to keep in mind, if you are playing with Liverpool, that never consider playing Mane as a winger unless you can stop him from using that trait of his. Try and unteach it, I suppose. Alright then, last substitution. Guilherme's played really well despite being nervous, but no one on the bench for him. Next up is James Rodriguez, no one on the bench from either. We can ask some players to do a job, or maybe I could do that for Guilherme. No, apparently not. Alright then, James Rodriguez, just bring on Naby for him. And rest him up. It's especially more important to rest what's his name, James Rodriguez, given that he doesn't have a backup currently fit at the moment. Pablo is injured, and so we need to try and rest Rodriguez up as much as possible, especially considering that he's in good form. So that he stays fit for us, obviously, for future games, and we need to try and avoid him getting injured at any point. about a billion players free in the box there. It finally reaches Jorginho, and it's 4-0 in our favour now. And Everton are sinking horribly, but I couldn't have asked for this game to go any better. Just bounces around. Jorginho under it. Chan very calmly finds Naby, who even more calmly finds Jorginho. And we get our fourth. Let's quickly end this game and move on. Come on then, I want to see how the table looks. And at the same time, this episode's going on a bit too long for my liking, but it looks like we might be up for a fifth. Guilherme from outside the box, is he going to shoot? Yes, he does, and scores. That was a bullet that I thought it just flew into the stands, but actually went in. It's a good thing I kept the left back on. And it's 5-0, and the difference between this game and the one against Manchester United is incredible, but it's good the way my players responded. At 1-0 I could have asked for more. Instead I encouraged them, keeping in mind the last result. And they've responded better than I could have asked. Goals spread across the team is a really good thing to see as well. So even though we play with structure, we still managed to score a ton of goals. We're still very creative, still tactically sound. But sometimes in games like against the one against Manchester United, we're just absolutely devoid of any ideas. Anyways, 5-0. Some players are looking complacent, so unfortunately I can't even tell them good job. Naby always has a tendency to get complacent. It's actually quite annoying. Anyway, so let the game save and have a look at when we will be back. I think this was the fixture of November, so they're supposed to try and find the fixtures of, or fixture, depends. This month was kind of exceptional just because we had too good of a chance to leave out, which is back-to-back games against Manchester United and Everton. So let's put us top of the table, but games are yet to be played tomorrow and after possibly. In terms of our own fixtures, we've got Bournemouth to Crystal Palace, of course. December, such a packed out month. I reckon we'll be showing you that game against Chelsea there, which could be really a huge one. But Southampton's very tempting as well, considering they're in second. We'll see how after these two results whether it will be good or not. But you'd assume Southampton or Chelsea, and that should make a very interesting December. But anyways, that's all for today's episode. So if you did enjoy it, then of course please hit the like button and subscribe for more Daily Football Manager 2018 content. And of course leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always guys, thank you all very much for watching.